Initial thoughts on Habakkuk 1.
Just how it initially starts.
Yes.
It's something he sees. It seems to me most translations say see,
Yeah.
but perceive, from studying it, seems to be a better way of putting it. Because you almost think like he has a vision or something, the way it says he sees. But it seems as though God, through his experiential interaction, is opening his eyes a little more deeply than everybody else, so he can see it from God's perspective. I think perceive, I found a translation that said perceive, actually.
Okay.
I think it was the IVS maybe, or one of those, because as it starts in, he is, of course, talking about what he's seeing, and he is almost protesting to God, like, why are you making me look at this, and to this depth of a level, like it's all that's on his mind kind of thing. It's like really, really like God really impressing it upon him. Like everyone else is like ignoring it almost, but God's not allowing that with him because he wants to speak through him about it.
In the note that I have, the second word, the word oracle, that he's, like you're talking about, that he's perceiving, I have written above it, I have a line and I put burden. And so kind of goes in with a lot of what you're saying, like this word, these 3 chapters that Habakkuk like perceives and receives from the Lord. This is heavy, like you said, like he's like this is a weight on him, almost that he doesn't want.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's and
he wouldn't if it weren't God, because you can tell by he almost protests. Stop it, Lord! Almost it's literally, he's like, why are you putting me through this?
Specifically, my brain immediately goes to Jesus and him saying, take my yoke upon me, and my burden is easy and light. And I don't know that all the time the things of God are light. Sometimes they are heavy. Sometimes they are.
Well, just it's in the flesh. It's unbearable.
What do you mean by that? About in the flesh?
In the flesh, like just trying to do it yourself. Just doing it in your own strength. It's unbearable. But with his help, it's light because you can put it on him. We don't do it properly, so it seems heavy to us.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we do it properly. But if we really live by faith and put it in God's hands, it would be light. In comparison, I think he's being hyperbolic a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, but it's still, the truth is still there that some of those things, that God lays in our hearts, like you said, it's
just hard.
It's hard, and in our flesh, in our own way.
I don't think he puts the burden on us. When he gives us things, he's saying, I will carry the burden. You just follow through. Which is a little different, because as we go on in this chapter, we'll see that it's God who takes care of it. It ain't Habakkuk.
Yeah, but yes, and I noticed when I was reading that first verse, and then even the second verse when he goes, how long? Yeah, this is heavy. He did not enjoy.
No, he's seeing some pretty evil stuff.
Yes.
Like God's helping him perceive it as it really is. It's not like rationalized or anything. He's like seeing it raw, if you will.
In order to bring the message that he needs, it has to be raw. He has to be shocked, I think, because he needs then to shock the people that he's going to talk to, that he's going to preach to. So, I mean, even the key words in that first section: violence, injustice, wrong, destruction, strife, conflict, paralyzed, wicked. I mean, perverted. Those are all.
And he's just saying it. He means it. He's not just being. I don't think he's being hyperbolic. He's like, it's this way.
And I wonder about this only because Abby has started a new job, and she's the behavior interventionist at a school, at a junior high, and she has all of her social work training, and in social work they teach them that they need to be able to decompress, leave that, the horrible things, the things that you hear, like leave it so you don't take it home with you. Thinking, well, how does Habakkuk get through this? How does he get through seeing these terrible things? And I think what you said earlier is the answer about he's not going to do this in his own strength. He has to rely on the Spirit. He has to understand that behind the things that he's seeing is a God of graciousness, peace, and then of course then God answers him.
Well, before he gets to that, I think you got it. Before you get to all that, the answer he's asking God, okay, like I see this. Why are you not doing anything about it?
Yeah, he does.
It goes on and on about that there for a second. Okay, I see this. You see this. You see this. That's why I'm seeing this. You want me to see this as you see it, kind of thing. You're not doing anything about this. Justice isn't justice. It's not fair. Is what he's like, it's all twisted. And then the people that are to enforce justice, they don't. I know that was included in what you were thinking before, but it's like it breaks from I see this to okay, you see this, God.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you doing anything about it? And he kind of speaks to that a little bit, and then God answers him. Yeah, I'm going to, and it's going to amaze you what I do about it because I'm going to bring in something even more wicked to deal with it.
Which is funny because we would think the opposite would be true. Like, oh, I'm going to be gracious, I'm going to bless, and he's like, nah, I'm going to bring it in the Babylonians. The description of the Babylonians, and I don't know, just sometimes when I go through, like the words matter. The words that he uses, he uses feared, dreaded, swifter, fiercer, gallop, swooping, advance, gather, deride, scoff, laugh, build, sweep. Whew. This is going to be before that in verse 6, ruthless, impetuous. You're right. It's almost like God says, I'm bringing in worse wickedness than what is currently there to deal with it. That's a tough pill to swallow. Why God would do that, especially if
he just gives people over to what they. Like, you want this, fine, and then that opens the door to the Babylonians to come in.
Yeah, well, in Romans 1 talks about that God that similar thought that God gave them over to that thing that they wished for.
Yeah, you don't want me in your life? Okay, this is what happens without me in your life. The enemy just walks right in and takes over.
And I can see though how that can be a struggle for people without faith, but I also can see how it can be a struggle with people with faith. Why would God allow wickedness to come in because of the wickedness that is already there? Because
he doesn't uphold wickedness. And if you're being wicked, he isn't going to partner with you.
Yeah, but he's using wickedness. Like that's
no, he's giving them over to it. Really, I don't.
Okay,
it's an indirect using.
Yes, yes, and of course we also know that.
But he is doing it. Yeah, at the same time, you do got to say he's doing it because he's allowing it.
Well, and he also has the eternal framework. He sees those things that he allows, those things that he uses. He shapes history to his will, and just through the years, different people they see things in the news or personal things that happen, and they're like, I know I messed up, but this is, or they feel judged.
Well, the people that hold on to their faith, he does restore, and he is using that to their good in that sense.
Yeah.
Joseph was, didn't do anything wrong, or Job didn't do nothing wrong, but wickedness came in. Sometimes it's just about him trusting people of faith to glorify him.
Yeah.
Through hard stuff. That's not what's going on here, I don't think. But I'm just saying, as far as why God allows kind of talk.
And then, and I mean, I've always thought him to be pretty bold because he's got a complaint, and then there's an answer, and then he complains again.
I kind of like that, though, because it shows how God gives us the freedom to just express ourselves and our feelings and just deal with it, but how he also expects us to hang in there. But as we're hanging in there, he allows us to, talk to him about it,
Because he almost
he could shut Habakkuk down and just, you be quiet and do this. He doesn't do that.
If I'm not wrong in my interpretation, God sort of does that to Job. I mean, God shuts Job down, and Job's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and so. But you're right. I mean, and it almost looks like here Habakkuk is like trying to guilt trip God. And God, specifically, I was looking at verse 13 where he says, "Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrong. Why then do you tolerate the treacherous? why are you silent while the wicked swallow up those more righteous than themselves? Like he's laying on this guilt.
But even Job, it's the same thing. Like he lets you express it. Yeah, I mean, he's going to put you in your place.
Yeah.
Eventually, he's going to put you he's going to tell you what you need to hear. But he allows you to have a voice. I mean, he might disagree with you, but I'm just saying.
Is that, and I have my own opinion, is that sinful to express your opinion to God about
There might
what
be I mean, it depends on what's going on probably. I mean, yeah, sometimes if you don't listen to God and just obey, I mean, that's sin.
But
right?
expressing an attitude problem, like God,
Well,
I don't like what you're doing.
Yeah, if it's an attitude problem, it's an attitude problem. But even Jesus said, like, if there's another way, let's do that. But then he accepted God's will. So I think as long as you ultimately accept God's will, you'll find some leniency. I don't think it's right to question God, but I don't think he minds it as long as we're after the truth. If we're just after the easy way out, yeah, I don't think he likes that. But
Okay.
but if we're seeking the truth, I think he tolerates it.